Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? We're back for this Wednesday night, a great Wednesday. And we have some interesting news stories for you, including this one in the title: Florida man shoots himself to gain sympathy at work. I don't know what it's like to have to shoot yourself at work, but we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. Plus, we have a update. We have an update. We've always got updates. We got updates about the pastor who went missing in South Africa at gunpoint. But apparently, we have some news about that. Uh, and yeah, we've got other stories. I was waiting for Trish to finish, but it seems like maybe she's gonna go a bit longer with the Lori Vallow type stuff. So I'm just gonna leave it and get started with you guys. Hold on. We got a story. Yeah, how are you guys? Having a great time? You know, it is Thursday here. It is the day before Good Friday. Tomorrow is Good Friday down here, and it means it's a public holiday in Australia. So tomorrow is the start of the Easter long weekend. Monday is also a public holiday, so it's like a 4-day long weekend for most people. So it's going to be fun. Hopefully, we can get on at some earlier times over the weekend. I hope so, because yeah, I don't like coming on so late here. So I wanted to show you this guy. If I can get this up on the screen, then I'll say hello to everyone. So there's the guy from our thumbnail. There he is. Hey guys, how are you? Good to see you all. Hey Wendy. Wendy sent in a $20 super sticker to start the show. Thank you, my friend. Hey, good to see you. Thank you very much. That is very, very generous of you and very kind. Is that an Easter present? Maybe. Kathy, is it April's birthday? Is it? Happy birthday, April. Hope you're having a good day out there. Hope you're having a good birthday. Hope you're gonna have hope you're gonna do something over the weekend for it. I don't know what you're gonna do, but maybe something. Yes. So this guy here, his name is Alexander. Apparently, he faces charges of tampering and false information. That's an interesting charge to have. They say a Florida man was arrested last week after he reportedly shot himself outside of his workplace over a year ago. In an affidavit, police said they were called to a FedEx warehouse last year around 5:45 a.m. after receiving reports about gunshots. Upon arrival, an officer said he found a FedEx employee identified as Alexander. He's 30 years old, lying on a couch in the facility with a gunshot wound to his abdomen. That's not a good place to shoot yourself. That's a very, very bad place. According to the police, Alexander reported being shot near his car in the parking lot by a man wearing a balaclava and a hoodie, and the latter of whom fled after firing on Alexander. Investigators said he was taken to hospital for his injury and a search kicked off for the supposed shooter. The search yielded a shell casing near his car as well as a loaded firearm in the driver's side door. Well, that's clever. The guy came up, he attacked you, and then he put the gun neatly in your door of your car. I don't know if I've heard of that before. They said it should be noted that Alexander's vehicle had been parked in the furthest position of the northwest parking lot, which put the vehicle almost out of view from surveillance cameras. In addition, the parking lot appeared to only be at half capacity, but his vehicle was still right at the building's main entrance. A few days later, an officer spoke with Alexander at hospital who claimed that the supposed shooter tried to take his wallet, but when he tried to move forward and hit the top of the gun, the other man shot him. However, when pressed for more details, he was inconsistent and gave conflicting details. An officer brought up another case around the same time in which he was accused of stalking a coworker, leaving notes on her vehicle, and sending her unwanted text messages. In fact, one note read, "I know you're sleeping with him again. He is trash. You've been warned." Alexander was arrested in the stalking case roughly a month after the shooting happened, but a forensics report last month showed that the bullet casing found at the scene was a match for Alexander's own firearm. They say, I have probable cause to believe that Alexander intentionally discharged the aforementioned firearm into his abdomen in an attempt to gather sympathy to his co-workers whom had halted all communication with him after the woman accused him of harassing her. As a result of the revelation, Alexander was brought into custody on April 9. He now faces charges of giving false information during the investigation, tampering with evidence, and firing a firearm in public. He was later released the same day on a $4,000 bond. What the hell? What the hell? So this guy not only, you know, shoots himself in the abdomen, he's also apparently stalking a coworker. Stalking, like, obsessively. He's definitely the type of guy you want at a FedEx facility with people's mail, you know, addresses, things like that, security type information. Hold on, guys. All right, there we go. So, yeah, this guy, I don't think the shooting, and what a dumb place to shoot yourself in the abdomen. Do you know that is a very dangerous place to take a firearm gunshot from? You could puncture something, you could hit something really bad, and you could die. It's not like, oh, I've got a bit of it just got my shoulder. It's a really bad place to have a bullet enter your body. People have died from less. People really have. So he's not only a stalker and a crazy person, he's also a crazy person who will shoot himself to try and win back sympathy in the workplace. Yeah, what is he doing? I have no idea. But, yeah, when we hear the saying, "A Florida man," it definitely seems correct, especially in this particular case. Hold on, I just wanna see if we can find anything on Mr. Alexander. WKRC? Let's see if they have anything else. Get down. There we go. They said after a coworker rejected his romantic advances, a man lied about having cancer and shot himself to garner sympathy. According to the police records obtained by Law and Crime, 30-year-old Alexander was found lying on his couch. Yeah, we know that. So this dates back all the way to March 21st, 2024. So they're right, over a year ago now. And they're saying here, should be noted, yep, we know that. Yeah, apparently, Alexander also allegedly claimed that he hadn't contacted the coworker since the shooting, but the officer writing the affidavit said that he learned he texted the coworker sorry after she told him to stop contacting her. Alexander reportedly also told his coworker that he had cancer, which he admitted was not true to police. So, not only is he a stalker, fuck, hold on, guys, sorry. All right, sorry about that. Mrs. Ping wanted to know something, and I was like, well, can't ignore her, so have to tell her what she wants to know. Yeah, also, so he's not just a person who is stalking a unrequited love in the workplace. He is also shooting himself in the stomach and then lying to people that he has cancer. These are all ways that you definitely know that it gets the women it gets the women all hot and bothered, especially when you stalk them, shoot yourself, and lie about cancer. That is definitely how you get the panties to drop. Like I think that's all men should use this tactic. All right, I'm joking. No men should ever try this. It will not work. That woman will run so far from you, it's not even funny. And you'll never hear from them again, except if they need to arrest you, like this guy. He he is um he is definitely a walking red flag. Definitely. Robbie T says here for a bit, heading off to the markets for the weekend. Have a good weekend, Easter weekend. It'll probably be really busy because of the school holidays. Do well at the markets, my friend. Don't get trapped on the road like last time. Don't get trapped on the last time. Profile said, I actually look forward to your streams now. Not now like before I didn't, but okay. All right, my friend. Have fun in the chat. Have fun in the chat. I don't know why YouTube doesn't let you edit your comments. I have no idea why. Maybe it's like a security thing. Maybe they don't want you double backing and lying. I don't know. Yeah, let me take you over here. I just want to check if this is yeah. Let me take you to a local news station and play a video. It's only like 40 seconds.
Tonight in Brevard County, a man is facing charges after allegedly shooting himself, and it was all for a woman's attention. Cocoa police say this all began back in March of 2024 when Alexander Leffert, a FedEx employee, was found shot at a facility. Leffert told police that someone did it and then ran off. Court documents showed there were many inconsistencies in his statements to officials. Police later concluded that Leffert shot himself to gain sympathy from a woman after she ended all contact with him and accused him of stalking her. He was taken into custody and later released on bond.
So there you go. If you work at FedEx, now you know what some of your coworkers may be like. I hope you don't run into an Alexander at your work. All right, that's that one. I don't have any more than that, except for he's going to be visiting a courthouse shortly. I am sure he will be in court at a later date. I have a couple of updates. I know a lot of people messaged me about the woman who pushed, thrown through that glass door. I don't have any update for you. There's been no real just no real update in what's going on with that particular case right now. It seems like it is still being investigated. I'm just having a quick look. Hold on. I'm just trying to see if there is yeah, I'm not seeing any update about Claire. So her name is Claire Austin. Yeah, I don't see that they've arrested anyone. Update here. There was an update half an hour ago. So police dismiss AVO taken out for Sydney marketing executive killed after running through glass door. An application by police for the protection of a woman killed after running through that door has been heard in court. And what did they say? Anything interesting? Why did they take it down? They're saying here, so her partner, Lee Lachlan, has not been charged in relation to her death, although apparently in court today, a lawyer representing Lee said the AVO application had been withdrawn by New South Wales Police and would be dismissed. The dismissal was confirmed by a police prosecutor and the application was formally withdrawn. Yeah, because she's dead. Like, you were too late. You were too late to try and protect her. Like, very late. They said in a statement, police said the death was being treated as suspicious and had launched a task force called Strike Force Lindock to investigate how the woman came to be injured. So we read about this yesterday about Claire Austin, that neighbors had heard a very disturbing argument at the property that they said was different to the normal arguments that had normally taken place at that property. So it tells you that there is a history of violence, couples warring with each other. But they said this time was different. What that actually means, well, we sort of know now. She ran through a glass door, severed her arm almost completely, and almost died. Yeah, so she almost died instantly from it, but she was taken to hospital, was in a coma, unfortunately for like 3 days, and she never regained consciousness from that coma. Eventually, she died after 3 days in a Sydney hospital. So they have withdrawn that AVO that we heard about, but no update on Lee Lachlan about what's going to happen with him. Now, this is interesting. So, this is a photo of their house, and you can see fingerprints. I don't know if this is from the police doing some dusting or this is from someone touching the windows. I don't know. But I can tell this type of glass looks very old. It doesn't look like the new type of glass that people have in apartments. I could be wrong, but it looks very thin. I hate to think what must cause a woman. Let's just take it on face value. I know a lot of people are like, maybe she was thrown through the door. Okay, maybe she was pushed through the door. That could be true too. Let's just say that she did run through the door. What Under what circumstances do you think that you would be wanting to do that? The only thing I can think of is that she must have been in fear for her life. She must have thought he was going to kill her. There's no other, and the fact that there was an AVO that was ready to be taken out, I think it paints a picture of an abusive relationship. So it's not, it's not a good thing. It's I can't paint any other picture of this. I really can't. It has to be that this was somehow DV reliant. Kathy Lynch says, did you say you leave? So we leave the weekend after Easter. So not this weekend, the weekend after. So yep. Hi Catatonic, how are you? So yeah, not this weekend, next weekend. On the Sunday I leave and head out to the trial. We're like just around the corner now for opening day, as long as it doesn't get pushed back at the last minute. April B says, sounds to me like she was pushed, but I don't know. They will be able to tell from forensics. The forensics will be able to piece together that door and they will be able to tell, like, what kind of force, what was the angle, that type of thing. And they'll know whether she did actually run through it or someone threw her. What kind of force or speed would be needed to do this type of injury to her? It's going to take a bit of research and it might take a little bit of time for them to figure it out, but it is doable. It is something they can do. Because you have to differentiate between, is this a murder, which is what it would be if she was pushed through the door, or is this a self action but in the fear of her life? And that would be manslaughter to Lee. So that's the difference here. You would either get a manslaughter charge or a murder charge. So That's what they need to figure out. It'll just yeah, like I said, it'll take a little bit of time for them to piece together what happened inside of that home, and they'll be able to do that from what broke, what didn't, how did things, what evidence was left behind. It's just gonna take a bit of time. Yeah, it's gonna be a forensic investigation. The autopsy, it won't tell you a bunch. It's just gonna tell you that she probably died from that arm being severed and the blood loss. Okay, so the autopsy is probably gonna say she died because her arm was severed. That's not gonna tell you the story of how it becomes severed, but it just gives you a manner of death. Um, they may say the manner of death is, undecided because they don't have the additional evidence of what happened inside of that home. So we're gonna have to wait. By the way, I saw something interesting. It relates to this particular case a little bit. In California, last weekend, a guy was stabbed. So there was some sort of knife fight, the guy got stabbed. They did a whole body transfusion of blood, like in an ambulance. Now, apparently, it's the first time it's ever been done in California. And I was thinking to myself in relation to this particular case, if they could do a whole body transfusion when they found her, would she be here today? Is it possible? If they were able to give her enough blood, would she have survived her injuries? That's interesting, right? Because they rushed her to a hospital in Sydney, but by then she was already in a coma. I would be interested to know whether that practice would have saved her life or not. Yeah, let me see if I can find it. It was like apparently the first one ever done outside of a hospital with a paramedic. Yeah, here it is. I was reading about it the other day. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Sorry about the pictures look a little funny. It's because I've got a darker thing on that makes things look darker than they should. So it was Ventura County. And they say Ventura County fire paramedics. Oh, it was the fire paramedics. Okay. First whole blood transfusion in the field, a statewide first. So they're saying that Ventura County Fire Department paramedics assigned to Rescue Ambulance 50 administered the first ever pre-hospital whole blood transfusion in the state of California during a response in the city of Oxnard last night. And yeah, the call was for a male victim suffering a stab wound to the upper thigh area that had punctured an artery. That's why I was wondering, would this have helped Claire at the time if they could do that in the ambulance? Wouldn't that be interesting? I don't know if they do that here. I've never heard of a full body transfusion in Australia in an ambulance. Yes, it's in California. Yes. Interesting, right? So when we talk about this particular case, and then I thought about this, I was like, I don't know. I mean, maybe she was already far gone. Maybe she was already, yeah. I mean, when you run through or get thrown through a glass door and you almost take your arm off in one go, that's a lot of trauma to the victim. Maybe slightly different to being stabbed in an artery. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just trying to see what you guys have to say. Rachel said, "Yeah, I hope you feel better, Kathy." Hey, the Thoris, how are you? Thank you for gifting a membership. I appreciate that. I don't know if we have too many non-members in the chat tonight to give any away. I was gonna give some away, but we might do it over the weekend when we have some more non-member type people around. Everyone's a member tonight, which is very cool. Yeah, okay. I don't know why I Hate Mornings comment just popped into my super chat feed. Don't know. Okay. So yeah, that's your update about Claire. Other than that, I don't have much right now. It's gonna take a little bit, I think, before they get to the bottom of what the hell is going on here. Uh, that's not what we want to watch. Not that one. They're saying here that the 38-year-old woman, that's Claire, was found inside the home with a partially severed arm and was bleeding profusely from the severe injuries after crashing through a glass sliding door at the Randwick property in Sydney. Paramedics rushed her to the St. Vincent's Hospital in critical condition. She apparently was in a coma, but she died on Tuesday, a couple of days ago. Yeah. Other than that, I don't have too much more for you. I don't have any charges, and I don't know where the investigation is heading right now. All I can tell you is that the police would not start a task force like that if they didn't think there was something there. So I believe they think there's something untoward there, especially with Lee Lachlan. So we'll wait. We'll see what they come up with, and hopefully justice will prevail. Yeah, even the Daily Telegraph says police dismiss AVO taken out for Sydney marketing executive killed after running through a glass door. Yeah, there's no point, is there? She's not here to protect any longer. Yeah. I find this interesting. So, the Sydney paper reported that police would allege that Lee Lachlan, who is the co-founder of recruitment company Lead Group, told officers told officers at the scene that Claire had run through a glass door to get away from the argument. So the only information we have comes from the person in their home that is causing the AVO. So I would consider that biased, polluted information. That's not good. That's not a good witness. That is not a good person that you should believe just because they said it to the police. I don't think that's a good idea. So we'll have to wait and see what the police come up with. The Thoris, hey, because was it posted in your chats from older lives? You did put what? I don't know what's going on, my friend. What's wrong? It appears that it goes to ones that posted in your chats from older lives that you did. They put a chat in. Okay. You have to tell me what that is after the show. Lindy says Ping said it was whole blood, one unit, not whole body. Is it? Did they say whole body or whole blood? Maybe Ping got it wrong. What did they say up here? Oh, whole blood transfusion, not whole body. Did they say it was only one unit? Let me see. It doesn't say. Ah, here. Transfusion started at 9:13 and the transfusion ended 9 minutes later at 9:22. Yeah, whole body transfusion would be like hours, not like 9 minutes. But whatever it was, it kept him alive long enough for them to get him to a hospital, and he probably did have a, like 10 units of blood. That dude got stabbed in an artery in the leg. You can bleed out in an artery in your leg in like 3 minutes. So that I don't know what he got in hospital, but it kept him alive. They kept enough like fluids in his body to keep him alive until hospital. So, yeah, Ventura County PD, yes. Ah, okay. Well, I wonder that's what I'm asking. I wonder if it would have made a difference to Claire if they could have done anything to keep more blood in her system. Could she have lived and not slipped into a coma? That's what I'm wondering. Because they're saying that once she got to the hospital, she was in a coma and just died 3 days later. So it is very sad. Uh, so this is actually from her work. This is a memorial post from her work. They say today the Misfits Media Company is mourning the loss of one of our own. It is with a heavy heart that we confirm the tragic news that Claire Austin has passed away following an alleged domestic violence incident over the weekend. There you go. Domestic violence incident. Claire started working with us in our client services division in March of this year. She was working as part of the team producing our Cans Crocodiles event. Claire had only joined the Misfits family a short while ago, but her warmth and charm had an immediate effect on us all. Out of respect for Claire's family request for privacy, we'll not be making any further comment on her passing. We extend our condolences to all who loved and knew her. There you go. So she'd only worked there for like a month or so at this new job. So there you go. Lindy says he regained consciousness right away. That's amazing. The Thoris, I was referring to the members pick when a membership is gifting. It is random and will go to anyone that has ever posted in your chat. It goes to anyone. You don't have to. I thought you had to be active in the chat to get the gifting of the membership. I thought you had to be there at the time. Marilyn says, I wonder if he was holding a weapon coming after her. It could be, but sometimes DV is not about a weapon. It's about the fear due to past events. So who knows what Lee had done to her in the past, and she may be so fearful of him that she would be willing to run through a glass door with no weapon. He doesn't need a weapon. He is the weapon due to his anger, his outbursts, the way he acts, the violence he inflicts. It doesn't always have to be a weapon. It can just be the person themselves. Catatonic says, yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Kathy Lynn says, if she was running while looking backwards. Yeah, I mean, people have hit glass doors in the past. Like, there's people that have broken noses, cracked teeth, smashed through things, cut themselves. It has happened before. Gayla says, I thought the more you chatted, the better the chance, but it's not. You just have to be comment at some point. It's interesting. I reckon they should change it and that you have to be active in the chat when it is given away to get the membership. YouTube needs to change that, I think. I think that's the way it should work. You face planted on your nose today? Oh, that's not good. Don't be doing that. It's not a good hobby. I don't think you would start that as some sort of, daily procedure. I think that would be very painful. All right. All right. Let's keep going. Okay. Let's go back to America. Let's go back to America. I just want to check this story. Oh, we also have that guy on the run. I want to check that out too. Hold on. I was trying to find. No, that's not the guy. That's not him either. I was trying to see if there was, yeah, this one. His name is Jacob Sawyer. I wanted to see, is there an update? Search continues. Oh my god, this guy has been on the run since the weekend, and they still haven't been able to locate him. Where is this guy? According to the Sun Community News, Jacob Sawyer is still on the run. Here, this was posted today. Apparently, they have not located him. They say the multi agency search for the man accused of Sunday's violent stabbing has continued on Wednesday. Anyone with information is asked to come forward. They say the massive search for Jacob Sawyer, 28, began at 2:30 p.m. after an attack on a female victim inside a Park Avenue residence where a verbal argument escalated and left the woman with a serious knife wound to the neck. Sawyer fled from the home on foot as first responders rushed to aid the victim, who was initially treated at a local hospital before being airlifted to the University of Vermont Medical Center, where she remained in stable condition on Wednesday. Sawyer is described as a white male, approximately 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing 160 pounds, with brown hair, brown eyes. They're saying that the Essex County Sheriff's Department and the New York State Police are actively assisting the local PD as they search for Sawyer, and that search continues today. And apparently, yeah, here, Sawyer, who was arrested in January for an earlier incident involving the same victim, has an active arrest warrant for attempted murder in the second degree, first degree burglary, third degree criminal possession of a weapon, first degree criminal contempt, and second degree menacing. They say anyone with information about where he might be is urged to contact the New York State Police at 518-897-2000. Where could Jacob T. Sawyer have got to? Where could he have got to, my friends? I know New York is multi-connected with other areas, like Virginia and other states. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe he's gone on the run. Yeah, there's that photo of him. If you asked me to pronounce that town name, I would never be able to do it. Is it Ticonderoga? I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Ticonderoga. I hope that is the correct name of that town. But yeah, still searching for this guy. Um, I don't know. Maybe he's fled to another state on the eastern seaboard. You know, I also have an update. Remember, I told you about the Coachella robberies the other night? So, according to an update that I saw a couple of hours ago, a couple of people who were involved in it, they're not the people I don't think they're not the ones I spoke to the other night, but they're a different group that were also robbed. Their Airbnb was broken into and robbed. The other people were at a hotel, so there was a lot of robberies going around on Coachella weekend. These people who had an Airbnb broken into and had their things taken, they're saying they tracked their phone to a random place in Desert Hot Springs in California. And they said, but when they got there, it was literally just a giant, nothing. There was nothing out there. It was looked like a place for truckers to just stop off. And there was a storage facility, and that's it. They said they called the police to come out and try get their property back. And when they came out there, all their devices, as soon as the police showed up to the area, as soon as that happened, their devices turned off and they went dark. They couldn't see them on the Track My iPhone thing anymore. And because the police couldn't get probable cause to go into the property and try and look for the devices, nothing happened and they don't know where their things are anymore now that they have been turned off. So these poor people. Yeah, I'll read I'll read the update. So this is the update from the person who had their Airbnb robbed while they're at Coachella. They said, "We went to the location and called the cops for public assistance to retrieve our devices. As soon as we reached the location, our devices switched off. Looks like the thieves saw the cops and got spooked. The location on Find My iPhone or Find My Device is Palm Drive, 18th Avenue, Desert Hot Springs. They say it's an empty lot with a storage slash worker area with pickup trucks. Pretty sure it was an inside job by the pool cleaner or lawnmower at the Airbnb since they evaded cameras and knew exactly when we wouldn't be at the property. Total amount of things stolen from the Airbnb $15,000. $15,000 from this one break in. Then you had the people in the hotel. They had about 100 grand between all of the people who had their rooms broken into. And when they tried, now when you see when the people in the Airbnb, they tried to track down some of their belongings, they couldn't. They they got taken to some random storage place, and the police wouldn't go in there because they did not have probable cause. So they got basically very badly screwed over. And this is just one group. You've got this group. I saw someone else that had their things stolen by an Uber driver. And then you had a bunch of people that were at the La Quinta Resort place in California. They had like several rooms broken into, but no forced entry, had their things taken while they were at Coachella. So I don't know. Over the weekend, it could have been up to about $150,000 worth of property that was stolen across all the different robberies. Coachella weekend one. So there are some criminals out there who have made some absolute big money over the weekend, which is disgusting. It really is. Like, I hate people who steal. By the way, yeah, I haven't got an update from the lovely people with the bag. They did reach out and said they watched the show. They said thank you for doing it. And they said thank you for getting the word out there. I did speak to them briefly after we got off the air. This is that bag again, that green bag. So if you're in SoCal, if you're out near Coachella, if you're out near Indio, especially on this weekend for weekend two at Coachella. If you're anywhere around Palm Springs, if you're anywhere near Desert Hot Springs, anywhere around that area, if you see this bag, snap me a photo. If you see it online being sold on a group on Facebook or eBay or, Poshmark or something like that, ping a photo of it and give me the listing, the URL, and I will get it to the owner of the bag and I will let them deal with it. But yeah, this bag means a lot to them. Apparently, it is a limited edition and is not replaceable. Even if they got the insurance money for it, it's not replaceable. They would not be able to get a new one. So, Bizarre Life said shooting him. So yeah, actually, Bizarre Life is behind. April B said people never take expensive belongings to a festival. Well, I mean, you never think when you're staying at a five-star resort, which is what that La Quinta resort is, it's 5 stars. You would never think that your stuff was going to get pinched. You would never think people would be able to get into your room and take your belongings, right? And I know it's a false sense of security. It's yeah. I know how much the bag costs. Yeah. I know how much it costs. Yeah, so it'll be, it'll have nice stitching, it'll look perfect, I did hear it's got a bit of a stain on it in one place, and it has more creases than this brand new one. So it won't look 100% immaculate, but it will look somewhat loved. Yeah, yeah, I know how much the bag is. I'm pretty sure it's like 5,000 US dollars. It's a lot of money. No, La Quinta Inn is a motel chain. La Quinta Resort is a five-star resort. It is run by the Hilton Boutique Hotel Group. So Hilton Group has their main hotels, like Hilton by LAX. You know that one. But Hilton also has a second range of hotels. They do like these boutique hotels and they have them all around the world. If you're a Hilton member, I think you can get access to their boutique motels or hotels as well, and they're often 5 stars, and yeah, they're just more like a smaller property. They're not multi-level. They're, a little more boutique. Yeah. You found one for 3,500. I think I saw one that was like almost 3,000 euro of that particular bag. So I do know the name of that bag. We should have put it in chat. Where's my friend? Yeah. They did give me the model number of their particular bag. I can give it to you. This is the correct model number for that green bag. It is a Louis Vuitton Tega Green Keepall 55. That is what it is. So, and that comes directly from the owner of that bag, a one of the people who were robbed. So I was able to speak to them very briefly, and yeah, I will reach out to them next week, and I'll see if they have an update for me. But I don't want to hassle them. So Joe Neal says yes, that one. Yep. So yeah, there you go. An update from the break-ins on Coachella weekend. The message from the people, the one that I told you about that tried to go get their things back, they said, please be careful of your Airbnb or hotel this weekend in Coachella. Don't leave valuables, ID, or cash. Make sure you lock everything into a safe. I agree. Except I've heard if you're in a hotel, I've heard hotels can actually get into your safe. Even if you put a code in and lock it, they have a master code where they can actually unlock them. So while it might be a little bit safer, I wouldn't say it is perfect that, they can still get into it. Yeah, yeah. So the La Quinta Resort one is a different place. So this is the one that they're talking about. It's this place, not your local, you know, 3-star motel. This is a 5-star property. They look like little bungalows or like little units, and they got a pool and, looks like a lot of fun. There you go. You can see some girls in bikinis. I always like to get those when I get a 5-star hotel. I mean, I'm always like, does your 5-star hotel come with girls in bikinis? Because if it doesn't, then I don't really want to book there. There you go. Some influencer model people all having a pizza and stuff. So there you go. That is their little view. And as you can see, it sounds like it is from almost $284 a night. Let's see if we want it. Let's see if we want all rooms and suites. All right, check rates. When do we want to go? We want to go Coachella, right? Let's go Coachella Friday. We're going to leave on Monday. How much would it cost us? Select a room. Sorry, we don't have any rooms available for those dates. Probably because Coachella is on. All right, let's go. Let's go the following week. Update. No, you still don't have any rooms? Oh my god. Well, okay. they don't they don't have any rooms. All right, update. All right, here we go. So their rooms start at $287 a night for a 2 queen bed mountain view. If you want a poolside casita, one king bed and a fireplace, it's $295 a night. All right, how much for like their really really nice stuff where celebrities would would stay? $1,542 a night for their hideaway suite. Their little spa villa is not badly priced actually. One king bed, one bedroom suite, patio, and it's $534 a night. So yeah, this place not cheap. This place is quite expensive. Probably called La Quinta because it's in La Quinta, California. So there you go. Oh, you guys didn't see it. Oh, that's a shame. Hold on. There you go. So there's their like cheap room, and if we scroll down, there's their like spa villa for $500 a night. And if you want their like hideaway suite, it's $1,542 a night. That's expensive. Only the best for Coachella. Only the best. Travel in luxury. No. So you would imagine though, staying at this resort, would you think that your things are safe at this particular establishment? I would. I wouldn't be like, oh, I need a safe and I need to lock all my things away. You're at a five-star property. You would think there was security and cameras, and I wouldn't, I wouldn't necessarily think that I was going to get robbed. Marlene says they are trying to put together another fire festival. What could go wrong there? Yeah, I heard something about this the other day that apparently the headliner might be Allison in Wonderland. And I was like, really? Okay. I like Allison in Wonderland, but a headliner for Fire Festival? Okay. Gail said, sorry, I would only need a bed as I'm away until stupid o'clock at night. Yeah, you're only going to use it for sleeping if you're going to a festival for 3 days. Profile said, I seen that. Yeah, I saw that it was going to be Alison in Wonderland, who I quite like. I quite like some of her music, but prefer her stuff that she did with Dimension. But um, yeah, you're an old school raver. Ping as well. I like to listen to the old UK hardcore from back in the early 2000s. The Thoris says gifted. Yeah, thank you, my friend. Hey, these didn't come through before. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate the 2 gifted memberships and a catatonic. That is very kind. And to Wendy, who did a super sticker earlier. Appreciate both of you. Pet Shop Boys. I don't know if I know any Pet Shop Boys songs. Go West or whatever. Um, yeah, Hardcore Till I Die. Yes. Um, Pet Shop Boys. I don't know if I know any songs from the Pet Shop Boys. All right, everything's gonna be all right. Is that them? Can't remember. MC Storm, yeah. I've met Hixie, Breeze and Styles. I've met all those guys. I used to do promotion work for clubs in Melbourne, and I've met all of those guys several times. Um, Glitter says I like 70s rock music a lot. I like a lot of different music. I've got I think now that hardcore has died, I don't listen to it as much anymore because there's not a lot of good music coming out like there used to be. The drum and bass is very, very good right now. It's a good substitute for hardcore at the moment. It's very well done. All right, let's keep going. We've got more stories to talk about. So there's your update for the La Quinta and the Airbnb robberies at Coachella. What else do we have? No, I don't want to do that. All right, yeah, we could do that. I got another story. Weirdos Anonymous. Yeah.
Very much. Protesters outside.
No, that's the wrong story. That's okay. They say here the owners of a Florida curio shop have been arrested for selling human remains on Facebook Marketplace, according to the Orange City Police Department. So her name is Kimberly Shopper, 52, and Ashley Leslie were arrested and charged with the purchase or sale of human organs and tissues, according to the court documents. Hmm. They say, "This is something I haven't seen in 17 years that I've worked for the agency," according to the captain. They said they began looking into Shopper's store, Wicked Wonderland, back in December 2023 when they received a tip regarding a business within the city attempting to sell human bones. The tip included images from the store's Facebook page, which advertised various human bones for sale, complete with pricing information. Her store was allegedly selling two human skull fragments for $90, a human clavicle and a scapula for $90, a human rib for $35, and a human vertebrae for $35, and a partial human skull for $600. Police spoke to Leslie, the co-owner of Wicked Wonderland, who said that the store had been selling human bones for several years and was unaware it was prohibited in the state of Florida. There's Kimberly there. Uh, she confirmed to authorities that the store featured multiple bone fragments, all purchased from private sellers, and she had the documentation for all these transactions, but could not provide it at that moment. Shopper and Leslie later met with police where Shopper showed documentation from PayPal, but she had redacted certain information to protect their privacy. She told police the bones were indeed educational models and that a warrant would be required if further information was needed. Police submitted 5 pieces of human bones from Wicked Wonderland as evidence, with the Volusia County Medical Examiner's Office finding that the fragments likely represented two different individuals, one of possible archaeological origin and the other of anatomical origin. They say Shopper was taken into custody on Thursday and released on a bail of $7,500. It is not immediately clear if she has obtained a lawyer. Leslie has also been charged with the same crime. It is not clear if she is in police custody or has obtained a lawyer. So these women selling bones in Florida have now been taken through court. I'm just trying to see if I can find a better update for you. Hold on, to see what they're up to right now. The updates are very small. Hold on, guys.
Buying and selling human bones on Facebook Marketplace. Orange City Police say they received a tip that 52-year-old Kimberly Shopper's business, Wicked Wonderland, was advertising various human bones for sale, complete with pricing information. During the investigation, they found 6 human remains listed for sale on the business's website. 2 human skull fragments for $90, a human clavicle and scapula for $90, a human rib for $35, a human vertebra for $35, and a partial human skull for $600. After speaking to the co-owner of Wicked Wonderland, police were told that the shop had been selling human bones for several years and that they were unaware it was illegal. With consent, the OCPD collected the human bones and submitted them as evidence to the medical examiner's office in Daytona Beach for further investigation and testing. A report concluded that the fragments came from 2 different people, one possibly of archaeological origin and the other anatomical. Shopper is facing charges of trading in human tissue, which is a second-degree felony in Florida.
Watch it, freak! You would have totally ruined my fetched
A Florida
outfit if this had spilled. But you'd
Hold
understand
on,
what
guys.
fetch means.
Shut the fuck up. Come on.
woman has
Shh. Why don't you ever be quiet? There we go. Sorry about the swearing. I hate when it does that. The Thora says, snacks for our camera shy Knights with Pink mascot. Where is our muffin? He's over here. He was actually on the chair just before I went live, but he said Dad was getting him too hot. He's like, Dad, you're too hot. I don't want to sit on the chair with you anymore. You're like a heater. So he's right over here. You guys can't see him. He's right over here sleeping right now. Muff. Hey. Do you wanna come? Do you wanna come sit on the chair? Do you wanna get up? You wanna say hello? No. He says no. He's like, "Dad, I just wanna stay here. I don't really wanna get up." He's having a nap. What's wrong? You sure you wanna come? No. He's like, "No, I don't wanna get up." He's like, I'm quite comfortable on the couch." So he's on the couch, he's sleeping, but, you'll see more of him. Kathy then says, "Ping, do your cats sleep with you?" Rory does, a lot of times. Rory will follow us to bed. Muffin used to, but he doesn't really do it as much anymore because he doesn't like the fan. So I often have a fan because I need the white noise to sleep, and I like being cool when I sleep. I can't stand getting overheated when I'm sleeping. So I need the noise and the cooling off. Uh, when we don't have the fan, he will come up on the bed, but when the fan's there, he's too scared of the noise. But Rory will sleep on the bed almost every night. She always pisses everyone off. She wants to sleep on Mum's head. She often will crawl up the bed and try and sleep on the face of Mrs. Ping. She'll often be like, "This is a great place to sleep," and Mrs. Ping's like, "Get off! Get off! What are you doing, cat? You big fluffy cat! Get off!" Yeah, she has a weird attachment to people's faces. You woke Hades up calling on Muffin? Yeah, that happens. I don't know. That's why your cat sleeps on your shoulder? Oh, I woke him up calling for Muffin. He thought I was calling him. He's like, "Who's calling? Who is that?" Glitter says, "My cats sleep with me." Oh, that's cute. Gayla says, "Get a cooling blanket and a fan noise." Yeah, I could. Glitter says there is an 8-hour YouTube video that has white noise like fans on it. I'll have to check it out. It's about the only thing I've found over the years that seems to work for me is a pedestal fan and that white noise it makes, and then the cooling it provides. Glitter says Kai likes to sleep on me. The closer to my head, the happier. Yeah, that's like Rory. Rory would sleep on Mrs. Ping's head if she let her, but she hates it, and she's like, "Rory, get down, go down the bed." So Rory often sleeps in the middle of us between our feet because that's got the most room. So she's always down the end of the bed. Kathleen says, "My 90-pound Frenchie likes to drape herself across my neck." That's very cute. Guys, hold on. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. April B. April B says, "My cats and dogs sleep with me." I'm glad to know that we're not the only ones. Profile says, "£19. I need to convert to kilos." £19. I'm not sure what that is. Kathleen says, "I have a towel fan with a remote. Very useful." Yeah, towel fans are good. We used to have one, but it died. It just stopped rotating on the inside. I don't know why. It worked for ages and then just wouldn't fan anymore. So it died. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. We got a couple more stories. I got a couple more. I did want to find more about this. So what was their store called? Wicked Wonderland. All right, well we can go there. And the Orange County Police. Yep. Okay. Let's check. Wicked Wonderland, Florida. Yeah, So I wanted to see if they're closed. Yeah, apparently they're closed, but they open 11 a.m. tomorrow. 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. tomorrow if you want to go get your bones in Florida. Let's see. According to the NBC, so only one of them has been released from jail. That is Kimberly Shopper. She's been released from jail on that bond, but the other one has not. Apparently, it's illegal to sell human remains in Florida. Now, I understand why this store owner might have got confused. In San Francisco, there's a very famous store called the Bone Room. I don't know if it's around anymore, but it was really popular for a long time. And they sold human bones. So I don't know if any of you from San Francisco know that particular store, but it was called the Bone Room. And they stole different things. They sold different human bones. Uda says, when does the mushroom trial start? Isn't it this month? So not this weekend. Next Sunday after that, I will be leaving to go to the trial. Yeah. So in about 9 days time, in about 9-10 days, I'll be on the road and I'm heading out to Aaron Patterson's trial. So there you go. About 9 days time. We are really, really on it now. We are very, we are ready for trial. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. RX Girl said you can't buy or sell human bones in Tennessee. Not that I've looked. How would you know? How would you know? Yeah, there was a place called the Bone Room. The Bone Room SF. I don't know if it's there anymore. Oh no, it is. Oh no, it's there. There you go. So they sell all sorts of different things. I don't know what that is, but they sell like Jurassic bones. How much is that? I want a Jurassic. A Allosaurus tooth, $1,400. A piece of a dire wolf. That's pretty cool. $500. A cave hyena incisor, $40, sold out. Gotta watch out for those cave hyenas. A triceratops tooth, $500. I want to know. I want one of those. If anyone has one, and has found them, because apparently you can find them in Florida and Georgia and South Carolina. If anyone has a megalodon tooth, if you have multiple and you wouldn't mind giving one to Ping, I will buy it from you. I've always wanted one of those. You know how people go into the like near the ocean and other places like swampland, and you can actually find them. I actually saw a documentary out of Florida where they go into like the Everglades and you can sift for them and you can find them. Big megalodon teeth. If anyone has one randomly and you wouldn't mind letting go of it, let Ping know because I've always wanted one. I will pay you for it. It's fine. Sean says, I have a raptor claw. Do you often walk around pretending to do that scene out of like Jurassic Park? He's like, it'll cut your belly right open. Do you do that? Yeah. So there you go. There's a place called the Bone Room. Let's see. They do human bones. Let's have a look. Real human bones. Human skull? Human skeleton. Okay. So apparently you can get articulated humans. I always like my skeletons to be articulated. They don't have any more now? Okay, they don't have any more articulated. What about disarticulated? Oh, yeah. Here, a disarticulated half skeleton. Well, I always like to get a half a skeleton. $6,000. If you want a C grade half a skeleton, $5,000. And if you want an E grade one, it's $4,500. It's a lot of money for a skeleton. Human skulls, individual bones. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah. Here you go. You can get a cervical and a pathological cervical, more pathological thoracic vertebrae. You can get, what's this? Fused vertebrae. Blah. A fused lumbar. Okay. A vintage spinal column. Man, serial killers must be so stoked with this website. There you go. So there is a place in San Francisco where you can buy this type of thing called the Bone Room. So I understand maybe why this shop called Wicked Wonderland in Florida may have been a bit, up and down on the laws. You can purchase a lot of megalodon teeth. I'll have to look. I would really like one of the real big ones. So, those real giant ones you see. I'll have to look. I've never looked into it, but I've always seen people find them in the sand. I'd love to do that. If I could go somewhere and like hunt for megalodon teeth, I'd do that on a holiday. That would be great. I I I don't know. I don't know how they get them. Joe Neal says different bone room that I remember. That's a different place. That sounds like a strip club. Profile probably for gay people maybe. Kathy, the profile says yes. You're talking about your dog. Yeah, I wonder what that documentary was called. There was a documentary where they actually, went to Florida and they were they had like a shaker thing that had a grid in it, and they get the soil and they go, and they were finding all like little shark and big megalodon and all in the Everglades, like not a place you think about where they might be, but apparently it's a good place to find fossils. Really? I'll have to have a look. I'll have to have a look. You can purchase those in the bone room? You cannot, can you? Animal bones, fossils, everyday fossils. Would it be a fossil? I would say it would be, right? Do they have a megalodon teeth? Dusky shark? That's not what we want. Here we go. Mako shark. That's a pretty good one. We want a megalodon though. Can we get a megalodon? Oh, Mako teeth? These are really common. You can find these in a lot of different places. Mako fossil teeth. They're one of the ones that they were finding in Florida. A megalodon. I don't see one. But I'm guessing they probably have them at some point. Unless I went past it. But the Mako shark teeth look very similar to the megalodon, but probably just smaller. But yeah, that's pretty cool, right? Yeah. But yeah, apparently in Florida, you can find them. If you're in Florida, you can actually do the work and find your own. Oh, you sent it to Messenger? Okay, hold on. Is it real or is it a replica? It's a replica, my friend. It's a replica. The one you sent me is not real. See how it says replica at the end? Yeah, I'd like to find a real one. Otherwise, you could be like, hey, I have this piece of plastic. Be pretty cool though, because Megalodon, when you think about it, you're like, there was a shark that lived on this earth that was like 50 times the size of a great white. It's like, great whites are already pretty scary. Then there used to be one that was like a giant one. It is an ADHD stream tonight, a little bit, a little bit. Hey, it's Good Friday tomorrow. Like, what else are we gonna do? Joe Neal says we have megalomaniac in the no. Let's see. 110 on eBay. I'll have to have a look. I'll look one time. A replica is 50. I'll someday I'll have a look. It is on my like bucket list of things that Ping would like to do. All right, shall we go back to more crimes? Let's see what I've got. All right. Oh yeah, this is interesting. So, our friend Joseph Scott Morgan, who does the show Body Bags, there was a story that broke a couple of years ago, and I don't what year was it? Jesse Marie Peterson. That's one of the saddest stories I've ever read. So, 2024. I think we did it on this channel at the time. So, apparently he did an episode on it. This woman checked herself out of a hotel and uh, she died. And like her body just went missing for ages. And they couldn't find what happened to her, and they ended up finding her decomposing body in some sort of like storage area. Like they just put her in there and let her decompose. It's really awful. Um, yeah. So our friend Joseph Scott Morgan, he's doing an episode on that on body bags. So I think it's called. Here we go. It's called "Hospital Hides Body in Warehouse While the Mum Searches for Her Missing Daughter." They should absolutely sue the living crap out of them. They said the family spent over a year looking for her, and then they end up finding the body in some storage facility. Horrible. Very horrible. All right. Let's go to Texas. Yeah, that's the one I want, but not the... Nope.
Back here, everyone. So a man has been arrested in connection to a suspicious death in East El Paso. We're looking here at the booking photo for Jaime Contreras. He was booked and charged with murder. He's being held on a $2 million bond. El Paso police arrested Contreras and accused him of murdering 74-year-old Victor Contreras. Officers found the victim's body Saturday on Ronald McNair Drive in East El Paso. Police haven't released any details, but say that the scene raised immediate red flags. Jaime Contreras is now charged with murder and is being held on a $2 million bond. Welcome back, everyone. So controversy is brewing in Sunland Park over plans.
Hold on, if you didn't catch that, let me tell you what happened. So they're saying here, KDBC reported that on Saturday, Victor was found disemboweled with stab wounds and with a slit throat in his El Paso home. They're saying that his older son went to the residence after not hearing from him for more than a week. The older son reportedly entered the home through an open bedroom window as the front door was locked after smelling rotting flesh. The son discovered his father with head trauma, his legs crossed, and a sheet on top of him. He also noticed his slain father's car was missing. The older son told police that Victor lived with his younger brother and that the older son had sent him multiple messages and he had not got a reply. They say Victor's daughter-in-law told police that she spoke with Victor on April 4. Victor reportedly told her that, is it Jami, or I can't pronounce the name, but the younger son was acting crazy again before the son allegedly took the phone and said he was unhappy about his father selling the family home. Victor managed to get the phone back and said he had called the police. He called his daughter-in-law back the same day and said everything was okay, though did not provide any details. According to KTSM, Victor called 911 claiming his younger brother hit him, his younger son hit him, and with a hammer. Police responded to the home, but it was closed as a mental health call. Documents indicated that Victor never mentioned being hit with the hammer to responding police officers, though they took the hammer from the youngest son during the ordeal. The day after Victor's body was found, a neighbor told the daughter-in-law that she had not seen Victor, but she had observed the youngest son moving his car. The neighbor also claimed that he was yelling in the street. In addition to Victor's extensive injuries, investigators said blood was found throughout the home, suggesting a struggle had occurred. What the hell? You disembowel your father in this way and then cover him with a sheet. You didn't do that, you slit his throat. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, we go to KTSM 9. They say a 39-year-old man was recently arrested and charged with murder for allegedly killing and disemboweling his dad, saying he didn't recognize him as his father, but as an alien. Okay. So they said, as they previously reported, the younger son was arrested and booked into the El Paso County Detention Facility under a $2 million bond on the charge of murder in the death of his father, Victor. They're saying, according to the court documents on Saturday, April 12th, EPPD officers were dispatched to the 11,000 block of Ronald McNair Drive to a reported unattended death. The call was made when a family member entered the victim's home, as he had not heard from him in about a week. The family member said the front and back doors were locked. However, the victim's bedroom window was open, and he noticed the smell of rotting flesh emanating from the residence. Whoa. According to court documents, upon entering the home, the family member observed something covered with a sheet on the floor in the victim's room. He lifted the sheet, which was covered in blood, and recognized the victim's face. He also noticed head trauma. The family members also noticed that the victim appeared to be bloated. It's probably the heat in Florida. The heat in Texas. The family member then exited the home to find the victim's Jeep Wrangler was missing as well. What the hell? So the younger son said he thought he was an alien and did not recognize him as his father. Yet in a different phone call said this was all over him selling the family home. Sounds a little strange. Sounds like the story is changing depending on the day. First it's about selling the family home, then it's about him being an alien. I don't know which one to believe, but it sounds a bit, convenient. Let me get you back here. Let's see what else we have. According to court documents, further investigation revealed that on April 5th, the victim had called police for assistance and said his son was threatening him and killed his pets. Officers responded to the call where it was closed out as checking okay, reference mental health. Later that day, the victim called 911 and said his son had hit him and had a hammer on his person. Comments further stated that the son threatened the victim, telling him, "Give me my power," then went upstairs. What kind of power? Like a Power Ranger? Like Voltron? You have to join together and become the Voltron? According to the court documents, officers responded to the call, which was closed out as a mental health call, as the victim did not tell them that he was hit with the hammer at the time. Detectives met with officers who were dispatched on the call on April 5. When the son had a hammer, the officer stated that during the call, a silver mallet with an orange or red handle was located in the living room on the couch. The hammer was taken away and given to the victim. According to the court documents, um, the younger son had a swollen right hand and deep lacerations to his pinky. Apparently, he said he obtained these injuries as a result of battling. Battling what? When asked what he meant by about battling, he clarified that he was fighting. He proceeded to say that an alien had harvested his organs a few days ago. Okay. According to the court documents, back in 2023, officers were dispatched to the same home about an emergency detention order when the officers were told that the son believed the victim was an alien. The report indicated that the son did walk around the neighborhood holding a decapitated rabbit. 2 months later in 2023, officers were once again sent to the home, where this time officers were told the son believed the victim was an alien and did not recognize him as his dad. Seems like the alien thing keeps coming up. It seems like several times the police were called because the son thought the father was an alien. This sounds like schizophrenia or undiagnosed schizophrenia or something. Yeah, either drug addiction or schizophrenia undiagnosed. So you're Ho-Ho? That doesn't sound like a great name, Jojo. So wait, what would his name be? Hold on. Hamey? Hame? I'm going to call him Hame because Hamey sounds weird. But there you go. $2 million bond under the arrest for his father's death. The fact that there's been so many call-outs to the family home over a number of years surrounding the son's mental health just shows you like what's going on. How is it that this family were just swept under the rug? Jamie? Okay, it's James. Okay, we'll call him James then. We'll call him James. All right, James, the alien hunter. I don't know what to tell you except for it sounds like the father, Victor, never had to die. If someone had just paid attention to this family and seen that Jamie had been spiraling for years down this whatever he was dealing with, whether it was drugs or a mental health decline, why did it take so long until someone discovered a dead body in the home for them to be like, oh, this guy might be dangerous. He might kill someone. He did. He killed the father. It's crazy. Like they have been called out several times for violent threats, decapitating pets, carrying around a decapitated rabbit, calling his dad an alien, saying people had harvested his organs, and they're just like, ah, he's all right. Let him sleep it off. He'll be all right tomorrow. It's bizarre. I don't understand. It's it's very sad for the father because I'm sure he's probably been dealing with it for many years. You hear what he went through. The victim was disemboweled. The victim also had a slit throat and several stab wounds around the neck. It was determined that the victim died from a head injury. Do we have a photo of Victor? Yeah, Victor Gerardo Contreras. Let's have a look. Is this the son? I'm guessing that is not a 74-year-old man. That would be his son, Mr. James or Jamie. I don't have one of the dad though. Okay, that's a shame. We don't have one of the father. Yeah, I don't have one of dad. Bizarre. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you except for someone could have seen it coming. This was almost like the sirens had been going off for a couple of years and no one helped or no one paid attention. No one referred the son into any programs, nothing. And look at where we are today. His father is dead from a gruesome murder, and the son has the crazy eyes and is now in jail on a $2 million bond. Hey, don't attack people with long hair. Ping has long hair. You may not be able to see it, but Ping has long hair. I don't accept any of that racial discrimination against people with long hair. It's racist against people with long hair. April B says he really has the crazy eyes. He does. He has the crazy eyes. Why do they all look like that? I don't really get it. They all look like they've spent 10 days smoking meth. That's exactly what they look like. They're like, I'm so awake. I'm the awakest I can ever be. That's what they look like. They have the crazy eyes. Let's see. Yeah, Sean is a monster, but that's what happens when you're a sheep. Sometimes you're a sheep, sometimes you're a monster. Happens. Yes. Jeez. Poor Victor, man. I can't even tell you what a death like that might be like. It would be horrific. Apparently, it's been in the all the papers, the El Paso Times, K Fox out of Houston. Is it Houston? Yeah. Yeah, let's go down here.
Welcome back here, everyone. So a man has been arrested in connection to a suspicious death in East El Paso. We're looking here at the booking photo for Jaime Contreras. He was booked and charged with murder. He's being held on a $2 million bond. El Paso police arrested Contreras and accused him of murdering 74-year-old Victor Contreras.
That's the same one from before. I'm glad they can pronounce the name correctly because none of you could. He pronounced it way better than I could ever do it. Joe Neal says, "Did you ever visit Arizona?" Yeah, I've been to Arizona a number of times. We have family that live in Arizona, and I've got some very good friends that live out there. Glitter says, "Psychopathic stare." Could be. I mean, whatever it is, it's pretty horrific. We'll keep an eye on that, and we'll see what happens with him. I have a bad feeling it's probably going to get again written down as like mental health. Like he's probably not going to be held responsible for his father's murder. Yeah, I'm actually going to take you about the pastor.
A kidnapped American pastor after a shootout with his abductors. 3 suspects are now dead after that confrontation. So let's bring in CBS News correspondent Chanel Call, who's following the story for us from the newsroom. Chanel, what do we know about this pastor, the abduction, and thankfully now his rescue?
Yeah, a lot to get through here, Muga. Good to see you and good morning. American pastor Josh Sullivan, we now know, was abducted at gunpoint in South Africa. This happened during a prayer meeting at his church on the evening of April 10th. So authorities right now are saying, Muga, that Sullivan was thankfully rescued yesterday. This happened amid a shootout between South African police and his captors. And you mentioned during that shootout, 3 suspects were killed. Sullivan is 45 years old. He is originally from Tennessee. And we're also told that he was rescued from a safe house that was being used by his captors. This happens to be in a coastal city in the Eastern Cape province of South Africa. His mother, Tanya Rinker, shared a message with CBS News. I want to show you what she says. It says, "I'm not ready to talk right now. I'm out of town, staying with family, and still waiting to get all of the details from Joshua. But I did talk to my son for a few minutes yesterday, and he told me he loved me and assured me he was unhurt and happy to be with Megan and the kids." Yeah. All right. As for how Sullivan is doing, police are saying he was, quote, miraculously unharmed and immediately assessed by medical personnel, also adding, Mugo, that he is currently in, quote, excellent condition.
Okay, that's some good news there. I'm sure much more information to come out of this one. Chanel Call, thank
You know, I'm very surprised that they were able to get him back. The fact that he's alive is a miracle on itself. There's so many people that get abducted in South Africa and they're dead in, a few hours. They ask for a ransom and they kill them within a few hours. So the fact that he was be able to be rescued even in a firefight is very impressive, and he's a very lucky man to be coming home. Very lucky. They're saying here that the American pastor Josh Sullivan was rescued Tuesday amid a shootout between South African police and his captors that left 3 suspects dead. Authorities said Wednesday Sullivan, originally from Tennessee, was abducted at gunpoint during a prayer meeting at his church in South Africa on the evening of April 10. According to a statement issued by the South Africa Police Service, a specialized unit dedicated to serious crime known as the Hawks, they led the operation to rescue the 45-year-old. The American was abducted from his Fellowship Baptist Church in Motherwell Township outside the coastal city of, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, but in South Africa. They're saying he was rescued from a safe house being used by his captors in that city. It's lucky he didn't get taken very far. The operation followed verified intelligence wherein a coordinated team moved swiftly to identify the location As officers approached the house, they observed a vehicle on the premises. The suspects inside the vehicle, upon seeing law enforcement, allegedly attempted to flee and opened fire on the police. The officers responded with tactical precision, leading to the high-intensity shootout in which 3 unidentified suspects were fatally wounded. Police said Sullivan was discovered in the same vehicle and miraculously unharmed. He was immediately assessed by medical personnel and is currently in excellent condition. Police have said that 4 armed, masked male suspects entered the church on Thursday last week and stole 2 cell phones and then abducted Sullivan in his car, a Toyota Fortuner. I think they call it a Forerunner here. Fortuna. Okay, I don't know that model. Which was found a short time later in the same city. Wow, he is really lucky. The fact that they were able to find the safe house and somehow extract him from it all within about a week is a very good turnaround for what seemed like a very bad situation at the time. Very bad. These people just don't tend to come home, especially when they're abducted in these countries. It does sound like a movie, doesn't it? The Thoris says, I can say from personal experience that there is a certain look in the eyes of evil. Yeah, we just call them the crazy eyes. That's what they have. Yeah, Sullivan, Pastor Sullivan, man. He should be like, I will devote the rest of my life to the Lord because he definitely saved him. It must be repayment for all the work he does, spreading the word of Jesus. I would say that is probably what happened. I'm a believer. I'm a believer of that. They're saying a kidnapped pastor was rescued in South Africa following a deadly shootout. I want to see the deadly shootout. Is there any video of that? I want to see that. Where is it? There's got to be video of it. There's video of everything in the world. Let's see. Kidnapped pastor. Apparently no. Apparently no video of the shootout. That's annoying, but I'm glad he was found. Let's go to NBC News on YouTube.
This is your missionary Josh Sullivan here.
Tennessee pastor Josh Sullivan is safe tonight after a deadly shootout between his abductors and police. He was kidnapped last Thursday in front of his wife and 6 children, the youngest 2 years old. His relieved father-in-law telling NBC News tonight he got a phone call from a family member following 5 frightening days.
So I answered it immediately and basically just dropped to my knees. His words were, "We got him," and I just thank God.
Police today still searching the house where Pastor Sullivan was rescued. Outside, 3 abductors were killed as they tried to escape with Sullivan in a vehicle.
3 came out dead. Josh came out alive. He was in the same vehicle that was filled with bullets. So there's that's 100% God.
Hope you can see the sign here of our church.
This gang in a township in Eastern Cape have been demanding a ransom after pulling Sullivan from the pulpit of the Baptist church he had founded and filmed in this YouTube video.
I spoke with him last night, and very extremely brief. And his words were that he loved me, and my words to him were that I loved him.
Tonight, Josh Sullivan's family say he is unharmed and reunited with his wife and children. The prayers of his community answered.
Thanks.
Well, yeah, that's very an amazing rescue of the of him. You know, I think of all the other times I've read about kidnappings and how many sad endings where they're like 3 months later we found them dead in the, in the desert. And then you hear of ones like this where they're successful in actually doing it It's amazing, really is. So he'll come. I hope he comes back home. It reminds me of that guy. There was a guy a couple of weeks ago who tried to contact that tribe that was on the island that have never met humans, or they have very briefly, but they're an isolated tribe on an island, and they'll kill you. Like if you go to the island and they don't like you, they will just kill you. Like, and no one from that island will ever be held accountable for murdering you because you're not supposed to be there anyway. And apparently, it's in the law that they're actually protected. That it's your fault if you go there. And it reminds me of that because that guy was trying to spread the word of God, and I was like, I don't think they want. I think they have their own religious system. Probably the sun god, the god that gives them the sea. Who knows? The one that has the metal planes in the sky that fly over. All that type of thing. I don't think they need your Bible. I think they're good with it. But yeah, it reminds me of that. That guy was trying to spread the word too. Oh, okay. I don't know. Ask YouTube. Maybe we can't. Maybe we can. Who knows? I wonder what happened. That there was that. Who's messaging me? What? Sorry, guys. Hold on. Okay. Sorry. Mrs. Ping's just telling me she had lunch. And I'm like, good for you. Hope it was a nice lunch. Oh yeah, the guys who did the shootout. Yeah, that was cool. That was awesome. I don't know how they survived that either. I just wanted to check what happened to that Russian guy who tried to go to the island. So he was arrested. I don't know what happened to him after that. So there's been a couple. This guy tried to leave a can of Coca-Cola for why I don't know, as a gift. I don't know. They're saying U.S. tourist arrested for landing on forbidden Indian tribal island. Here he is. Here's a dog face here. They're saying the Indian police said on Thursday they had arrested a U.S. tourist who sneaked onto a highly restricted island carrying a coconut and a can of Diet Coke. Why are you afraid that they only have normal Coke and they need to be introduced to Diet Coke for some reason? Apparently the guy was 24, set foot on the restricted territory of North Sentinel, part of Indians' Andaman Islands, in an attempt to meet the Sentinelese people. And they are believed to only be about 150 people on the island. They said all outsiders, Indians and foreigners alike, are banned from traveling within 3 miles of the island to protect the indigenous people from outside diseases and to preserve their way of life. Yeah. But there was a guy that went there a few years ago. He made one visit. The people were friendly towards him, and I think they even tried to give him some gifts and things like that. He tried to go back again, and something went wrong, and they killed him. They literally killed him. They just murdered him. Yeah, he made one or two successful trips to the island, and the tribe people were really they liked him. And then he went back that other time, and they just were like, nah, not this guy again. He didn't bring any Diet Coke. Let's kill him. Yeah, he was being careful about the sugar. Yeah, that's right. On the same island, yep. So I can show you that one. So this is the guy that did it a couple of weeks ago. He's been arrested. Luckily, he's alive. But the other guy who did it, he is dead. He is long gone. Where is it? North Sentinel Island. Yeah. On November 2018, a 26-year-old American Christian missionary named John Allen Chow was trained and sent by Missouri-based All Nations and was killed during an illegal trip to the restricted island where he planned to preach Christianity to the Sentinelese. In a 2023 documentary film, The Mission, it discusses the incident. 7 individuals were taken into custody by Indian police on suspicion of basically giving him access to the land, taking him out by boat. They say the fishermen who illegally ferried him to the island said they saw tribesmen drag his body along a beach and bury it. So they dropped him off on the island and they just killed him. They were like, "Yeah, we don't like this guy. Let's just kill him." Despite efforts by Indian authorities which involved a tense encounter with the tribe, his body was never recovered. Indian officials made several attempts to recover the body but eventually abandoned those efforts. An anthropologist involved in the case told The Guardian that the risk of a dangerous clash between the investigators and the islanders was too great to justify any further attempts at removing John Allen's body. So his body will forever be on the island. They will never probably be able to get it back. Sounds like he made a very bad decision. I also blame the Missouri-based All Nations for being stupid enough to believe that these people that live on an island know nothing about the, modern humans were like, yes, do you know what these people need? Do you know what these tribe people need? They need God. That's what they need. They need a Bible. No, they don't. You need to leave them alone. Just leave them the F alone. They don't need God. They don't need a Bible. They probably, like I said, they probably believe in the metal plane god that flies over every so often. And every time the plane flies over, they're like, he's back. Oh my God, there'll be good fishing today on our island. That's probably what they believe in. They don't have any concept or knowledge of Christianity, nor do they need it. They probably believe in the metal bird that flies overhead, because I'm guessing they're very confused about what the hell that thing is in the sky that flies around the island. They're like, what the hell is that giant thing? The Thora says tribe members do not know English. Why do people think they can turn them around? I don't know. It seems like a very stupid plan. It's like, I'm going to go to an island where these people are tribes people. They don't speak English. I don't speak their language, but I'm going to convince them that God is the way. I'm going to be the first one. I don't think so. I think you copped a spear to the head, and then they were like, yep, we killed another one. Why do they keep coming here? I don't know. Yeah, very, very silly. Very silly. I don't... Like, John Allen Chow may have been a very nice person, but I think a very misguided person. Yeah. There's actually, I think there's a Nat Geo documentary on it. I can't play it for you, but I can show you a tiny bit. So there's a documentary called The Mission to Contact, and it's on YouTube if you want to know more about John Allen and his journey to being killed and buried on a beach on an island. You can watch it here on YouTube. There you go. April B said, we need to respect their ways. They don't want intruders. I think that's pretty obvious by the killing of the guy. Like, the guy went, hello, and they just threw a spear at him and killed him. Like, I don't know what that few moments might have been like for John Allen, but I don't think it would have been fun. He would have been like, yes, this is my third trip, because he'd made a couple of successful trips to the island before. I don't think he'd actually met the people, but he'd left things for them and they had taken them or something. This time he wanted like full contact. He was going to go talk Jesus with them, and they just killed him like within seconds of like getting on the island. Within a couple of seconds, they just killed him. They just saw him as an intruder, and they decided, you got to go. Glitter says Australia has Indigenous people, tribes people. Yes, we have our Indigenous Australians, but they're not really like that. They know about Western society. They're not isolated. They very much know about, modern Australia. They have access to medical and things like that. They're not like these people. These people are completely cut off from the other part of the world. Like they don't see white people. They don't, they don't understand what a train is. They don't understand what a KFC might be. Aboriginal people in Australia, they know all those things. They are not. There is some of them that are not integrated with society. There are others who are fully integrated with Australian society. Very similar to the Native Americans in America or the First Nation people in Canada. There's some people who choose to live in the city. There's some people who choose to live on tribal land. Same here. It's not like they're fully isolated and, that type of thing. I don't know. I don't know if they wear clothes. Aboriginal people do. I don't know about these people that live on the island. I got no idea. I'm guessing they would have some sort, you know. Let's have a look. Do they have a photo of them on here? Let's see. Doesn't mean to play this up. There we go. Stupid YouTube. I was hoping they might have a photo of them. Okay, not on this one. Let's see if we can find. There are some photos of them. Sentinel Island. Yeah, North Sentinel. So people have met them before very briefly. I think there's a photo of like white people meeting them. If I can grab it. There is a photo, and I can't. There's a big story that goes behind it. Why they didn't kill these ones, I don't know. But I heard that after these guys got on the plane, they started to attack the plane. So they were lucky to get out of there when they did. Here, I'll show you. Upload. Come on. There we go. So here's some people meeting them and giving them coconuts and other gifts to them. And I'm pretty sure this story goes that not long after this, they were very unhappy about the people being there, and they started to attack their aircraft. They tried to throw spears at the aircraft as it was taking off. So they have attacked people many times. But yeah, if you want to see them, that's them. There's other photos that you can see online of the Sentinelese. This is from Nat Geo. So they wear something akin to clothing, just not everywhere. I'm hoping that is blurred enough that we're not going to get in trouble. But you can see these giant spears that they have, and these things absolutely fly. Apparently, these were hitting the aircraft as it was taking off. These super long archery type things. So I am not going to blow that up though for you. Yeah. And there's another one here. A ship that got far too close, and there you go. You see them on the edge of the island, and they were very unhappy again that someone had got close to their island. Here, I'll take it away. There you go. You can see them on the island there. Nope. People in the water still. Oh, you got. Sorry, I didn't show you the other one. Hold on. There you go. This is the other one. So you can see these giant, like bow and spears that they have. And these were what were hitting the aircraft of those other people. You can imagine being hit by one of these. That thing would go straight through you. Straight through your aircraft for sure. Pretty impressive actually. And then this one here. Can't see much out of this one, but you can see them on the edge of the island going, what the hell is that giant thing over there? Why is it coming close to our island? Yeah, so Sean, apparently when they took off in the aircraft, they could hear the spears or archery bows, arrows hitting the aircraft. They could go tink, 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 like as they were flying, trying to get up into the air. They could actually hear them. So these people don't mess around. And as John found out, very quickly after landing on the island, they were just like, nah, we don't like this guy anymore. And they just killed him. So, Michael Rockefeller was eaten by cannibals. I didn't know that. Kathy then said, weren't there missionaries who were killed because they took pictures of a tribe and the tribe thought they were trying to steal their souls? I don't know about that one, but it wouldn't surprise me. It is the water is very beautiful. It is. So there. So if you want to watch that documentary, you can give it a go, and it'll tell you all about John and his mission to meet the Sentinelese and the history of the island and what's happened over there. So the link was put in chat before. Glitter said, I sent a photo of them looking at the drone to your messenger. They look like they're trying to look at UFOs. Hold on. No, these guys are not the same people. So the one you sent me, they are on uncontacted people in Brazil. There's also some uncontacted tribes in the Amazon too. Yeah, these are in near India. The ones that we're talking about. The one you showed me, which is here. These people are in Brazil. There you go. These are another uncontacted tribe from that area. So there's still a few around. There's a couple in the Amazon. There's a few on islands. So they're still around. His name is John Chow. So hold on, I'll tell you. Let me get his full name for you. He was a 26-year-old American missionary. So he was going there to spread the word of Jesus. Yeah, there you go. John Allen Chow. No, that's not. It says in the bottom of the photo, my friend. Look, read the caption. Uncontacted people in Brazil, seen from the air during a Brazilian government expedition in 2010. Not North Sentinel. Sentinel Island is in India, not Brazil. So not the same place, but they are an uncontacted tribe, yes. I don't know if they kill people too for getting near them. Very possibly. Yes, Brazil is definitely in Australia. That is true. Profile said Aboriginals are indigenous people of Australia. Yes, that is true too. It's a fact night, people. We're just talking facts. They herd come to spread diseases, maybe. All right, fine. Before we go, I'll share the story about the about the dog. All right, let me go here.
Anatolian Pyrenees.
Buford, come on.
Protects the Dutton Ranch, walking the perimeter nightly to keep wildlife out.
It's in their blood, you know, they're guardians and stuff.
But on Tuesday morning, there was someone else Buford protected.
Way there, I see Buford coming down the deal right there with a little little blonde-haired boy with him.
That blonde-haired boy's parents reported him missing the night before after he wandered away from his home in Seligman.
He was young and ended up wandering further than anyone would have hoped.
The Yavapai County Sheriff's Office, alongside other agencies, conducted a 16-hour search for the 2-year-old.
Not only did we search on foot, but also there were some of the razors and 4x4s, as well as we did make use of some of the helicopters to make sure that we were doing everything we could to locate the child.
It was Buford who found the toddler about 7 miles away from home, sleeping underneath a tree.
There was 1,000 ways for that to go really, really bad and one good way, and luckily it turned out to be the good way.
The wonder of how a toddler managed to survive walking through rugged terrain without sustaining more than a few scratches will never fade for Scotty Dutton.
There's 3 big canyons and ridges all the way towards where he came from, so it's a long, rough piece of country, so it's amazing he made it as far as he did.
But Dutton knows if it wasn't for Buford, this happy ending might never have happened.
She's cooking him a steak for dinner tonight.
Near Kingman, Gabriela Bakura, 12 News Today in AZ.
That's pretty cool. Oh, come on. Stop that. There we go. That's pretty cool. They say a 2-year-old boy who spent the night alone in the remote Arizona wilderness and walked 7 miles through mountain lion territory was led to safety by a rancher's dog. I love that. The dog's like, "Hi, friend. Come with me. I'll take you to my dad. He'll know what to do. Come with me, young boy." They said a huge search operation was launched when the boy disappeared from his home about 100 miles south of Grand Canyon National Park about 5 p.m. Monday. He was seen wearing just a blue tank top and pajama pants. They say the sheriff office said more than 40 rescuers, including the Department of Public Safety Rangers, joined the search, and a DPS helicopter spotted 2 mountain lions in the area. Ugh. They said about 16 hours after he went missing, rancher Scotty Dunton found him on his land 7 miles away. The boy was safe and well and had apparently been led to his property by the rancher's dog, Burford. He said, I got into my truck to go to town and I see Burford walking down the side fence with a little blonde kid with him. I had heard about the missing child this morning, so I knew it was him. What a good dog. They say Dunton asked the boy if he had walked all night, and he answered, "No, I laid up under a tree." The beef rancher said the boy was in good shape but upset. The rancher traced the boy's steps and found the dog had escorted him from at least a mile away. He said Burford normally patrols the land and wards off coyotes. He went through some rough country. It's all mountains and canyons and boulder piles. It's rough for adults, let alone a 2-year-old kid. He did a remarkable job to go 7 miles like he did. Dunton added that lions, coyotes, and the occasional bear can be found in the area. Dunton said that Burford loves kids, and I imagine he wouldn't leave him once he found him. That dog deserves all the good dog awards for the entire year. What a good puppy dog. He's a good ranch dog. I want to put his photo up. There we go. He's a good dog. He deserves an extra meal tonight, even though he looks like he's a big dog, but what a good dog. He just was like, "Oh, a little kid. Let me walk him to safety." What a smart dog, for real. So the farmer lets his dog. No, I think he said the dog is there to ward off coyote, not mountain lion. I think the dog would probably get killed by a mountain lion. Yeah, he's a working dog. He's like a farm dog. That's what he is. I Hate Morning says working dogs are amazing. They really are. Gayla said those dogs are guardian dogs. The fact that he walked the child home by like a mile is amazing. I don't know. I don't know how a child made it 7 miles from home and somehow didn't fall down a canyon, somehow didn't fall off a cliff. It's pretty amazing. All right. my lovely friends, I think it's that time of the night. We've been on long enough today, and I'm starting to lose my voice from talking too much. So, hey, I want to thank my friend. Someone sent in a donation. Unfortunately, my PayPal's not working 100% right. I can see that it came in, but I can't see any of the like messages or anything. It's just not loading correctly for some reason. Let me check here. No, they didn't send a message. But it's from my friend Four Sons' mom. Thank you very much, my friend. I really appreciate it. That'll definitely go to helping with the costs of the trial. Let me go back here. Yeah, it was very kind of you, very generous. And thank you to all the people tonight. The Thoros, Catatonic, the Thoros sent 2 memberships. Thank you very much. And Wendy R at the beginning of the show. You are all amazing, and I appreciate it very much. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is Good Friday. And what are we going to do tomorrow? Obviously, we're going to spread the word of Jesus. No, we're not going to do that, but we will talk about true crime. Joe Neal says, Ping, will you and the missus visit me in Arizona? When we get there, I don't know when we're going to get to Arizona. I don't know when we're going to go overseas again. Right now, with all the medical stuff going on, I have no idea when we're going to travel again. Probably not for a while. Probably not until 2026. That's probably the closest time to when we can travel again is probably going to be 2026. Probably nothing this year. So nothing this year, unfortunately. Sean says kumbaya. Yeah. Wow, that happens. All right. I love you all. Have a great day tomorrow. Have a great Thursday. We're going to sleep in tomorrow. We're going to sleep in because it is Good Friday. So I'm going to enjoy my Friday late morning. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to go eat something because I'm starving. I love you all. Have a great night out there. And if you're heading to Coachella for weekend 2, have a great weekend 2 out in Indio. Have a great time seeing all the artists and all the people. And keep safe out there. Keep safe, okay? Well, that doesn't sound fun. Have fun with that. Hope you recover well. Love you all. Good night. Oh, what happened there? Hold on. Good night. See you later. Bye.